Hey, wildflowers. It is Wildflower Wednesday. It's Wildflower Wisdom Wednesday. I thought it was Wildflower Wisdom yesterday, so I didn't do a tarot read. By the time I realized it was Tuesday, I'm like, okay, so we're just going to skip today. So, there'll be tarot readings for Thursday and Friday, the rest of the elements, fire and air. And then on Saturday, I have some videos ready to get loaded up for carpool karaoke. Nice. And I'm lining up other people, and this is a public cry for help. So if you like to sing, if you like to do karaoke, if you like to watch my dog bark, I should be quiet in a minute. It's carpool karaoke. I show up to your house for free. If you want a reading, it's $45 for 20 to 30 minutes. Since I'm there, what the hell? But the most of it is the fun part for the YouTube channel, Saturday Night Carpool Karaoke. And you don't have to be a good singer. This is not American Idol, nor is it tryout auditions for The Voice. It's just not. I used to sing in high school. I was good. And I smoked for 30 years, and then I smoked pot for a couple more. In general, my point is, I'm not looking for the best vocalist. I'm looking for someone who's got a lot of pizzazz and fun, and it can carry a tune. I mean, if you're tone deaf, God bless your cotton socks. I love you anyway, because you're on my Facebook page. I probably love you. If you're tone deaf and I don't know you, I love you anyway, too. All right. I can get chit-chatting. I'm going to get right into the number one pet peeve of mine. Number one thing I think spiritually complain about. What really grinds my gears? You know what I'm saying? Like in the spiritual world. Quite a few things, but today I just want to really make a point of saying this video is going to be love spells, manifesting your specific person, and subliminals. Do they work? Are they dangerous? Is there any backlash? Is there any karma? What's the deal, at the end of the video, I will tell you the proper way to manifest, love spell, whatever. But the proper way to ask the universe for the perfect love, okay? Now, you have to understand you don't know more than God. Many of you, including myself, have played God by playing with magic, Magic, if you use it on yourself, is a beautiful, beautiful self-growth tool. Absolutely. Especially if you're coming from a place that you need healing, and it's an absolutely, and witchcraft, as long as it's used on yourself, is a wonderful tool. Once you start practicing anything on anyone else's free will, you've crossed the line. And what crossed the line means you're into black magic. What does that mean? Karma is getting crazy. And sometimes people don't realize that what they're doing is not right. I think, Love Spell was a name of, or still is a name of, a perfume by Victoria's Secrets. Like, the whole younger generation are being literally encouraged, and it's just everywhere. Magic, magic, magic. Look it up on Google. You don't have to be anybody special to do magic. You don't need to know anything. And it's bullshit. Magic is so dangerous. Love spells, people do. Number one, the thing that people do is they do it on a specific person. You cannot do a spell nor manifest a specific person. I don't care how innocuous YouTube and the Christians think manifesting a specific person is. It's the same thing as forcing your free will on someone else's free will. Black magic, doing magic on someone else, right? Right. So everyone's running around doing these things and not knowing why they're getting all this terrible backlash and karma. They don't even know what's going on. They're having bad luck. They're confused. That they really are just complete. People are uneducated. You really should be educated before you use magic even on yourself. I mean, but people aren't. And that's just life. And people are running around throwing magic everywhere, willy-nilly, destroying their own lives, killing people, destroying, their own lives. I mean, magic is absolutely, at the end of the day, going to come back to sender. And no matter if you meant it or not, it was an accident or you made a mistake, it's going to come back to sender. It is dangerous. You have to understand that. I think people don't understand how dangerous danger is. We'll go with love spell first. We'll start with witchcraft, flat out witchcraft. An example of doing a love spell on a specific person. The two examples I have are people, that's the most common. Bring my ex back to me. Bring my lover back to me. Bring your person, you think your ex. Bring my ex back. And exes are really exes for a reason. And you'll see by my story, plural, there'll be two today, that doing a spell on a specific person to make them, quote unquote, be with you, love you, stay with you for the rest, but all that is, what happens? Right? So I've got a person who wanted their ex back, really young. We were young. I was very, very Christian. I had no idea. The person who was talking to was like, whoa, that's crazy, right? But anyways, I'm young. And she said, I did a return my ex back to me on my boyfriend. I feel like saying it because I hate the girl now, but my boyfriend so-and-so. Well, it worked. So-and-so came back. He didn't love her in the first place, and that's why he left. And when she did the return my ex back to me, he came back, but it wasn't him, and it wasn't near the same person. He was. I wish I could say names, but I don't even think the person himself knows what has happened to him. I kind of want to out that whole story. Ooh, I feel like being a whistleblower. Anyway, to this day, this is like over 30 years ago. I'm old. We're talking to this day. This person still tracks down the girl and her family and speaks with some of her family to this day, has become so obsessed with her that he was never able to have a healthy relationship. We were young, like I said. These were like our first couple of boyfriends. Her first couple of boyfriends. And he never was able to properly fall in love. Never to go about his happily ever after. She destroyed him. He was obsessed with her. It wasn't love. It was a spell, so it was obsessed. But that obsession blocked his entire life. She prevented him from real love. And if that isn't evil, what is? I mean, he still contacts the person's mother. Like, we're talking 35 years later, obsessive. And when they broke up, obviously he came back, they broke up because when he came back, he wasn't the same person. Or maybe he was the real him, and she's like, oh, this is who you are? Oh, I didn't know. She didn't even know who she didn't love him. She was 19. She didn't even know who he was. He didn't know who he was when she forced him to come back to her. So the damage is done, and we're talking 35 years worth of damage in this. And I probably do know how to undo it, but I don't want to. Sometimes things aren't your business. I suppose if I got involved, that would cause a drama scene, but then people could have more things to hate me for, but but I'm not. I do my best to create less drama, but I like to talk about it. I think people should know. Do they have to know his name, her name? No. But should they know that magic can destroy lives? Yeah. Love spells are the most common mistake. Second example of a love spell gone wrong on a specific person, again, was the bring my ex back to me. There was a woman I know who got married, had a baby. They had one child together. And he left her. Cheated on her, left her, went with someone else. And she did the bring my ex back to me spell. She did it. It worked. You can force the person to come back to you. You cannot force love. And I think you can force obsession in some kind of weird situations, but love is the purest magic of all. That's why pure love is God. You know, it's not something forced. It's so magical that it's untouchable. You know what I mean? And the other thing about doing any kind of love spell is, how do you know if that person really loves you if you have to force them to be with you? How do you really ever know? How do you feel secure and loved? You can't run around, how do you feel loved? What is the whole fucking point of forcing people to love you? That's just absolute criminal minds insanity. You know? Anyway, so the person comes back, the people, the two couples I'm talking about, the guy comes back to the girl who did the spell work on him. And like I said, you can force him to come back. Obviously, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about magic if it didn't work. It does work. It's to some extent, and there's a lot of discussions that's going to happen on here about magic, because I know so many people don't believe in it and should understand some of the basics of things that are really true and real. It's not just any bullshit. You know, what's the difference between bibbidi bobbidi boo, but damn, and what's the difference between magic, fictional, and the difference between magic real? You know, is magic real? Yes. You have to know what magic is, what to look for, what to expect, what's unrealistic expectations, etc. But yeah, unfortunately and fortunately, magic's real. The unfortunate part is most people can't stop the temptation to control other people. There is a 12-step program called Codependency Anonymous that is the root of every addiction. It's the 12-step program that everyone needs. Everyone, almost everyone. Even people who have the perfect family lives could glance at it and could benefit from Codependency 12-step program. Absolutely. So this was my thing. I'm very controlling, Scorpio, younger years. I ended up really just attracting all these addicts and trying to control them, help them, control them, that's what my relationship pattern was when I was younger. So, and I didn't know what the hell, why, but what it led me to with all the addicts was things like Al-Anon and codependency. What's wrong with me that I keep picking the addicts and I keep trying to fix everybody and control everybody? What's wrong with me? At some point, you're like, no, it's not the 40 addicts you dated, it's you, asshole. So, it was me, asshole. I didn't date 40 addicts, but you know what I mean. So I'm in the codependencies things, and when you go through it, that's the root of all addictions. Like, you could scrap NA, you could scrap AA, sometimes those are dangerous, some of the NA and AA meetings. You could find drinking friends and drugging friends at the meetings to go out and relapse with. I honestly feel like I've never met a real, I don't know. NA, it just seems like a place for relapsers to meet up. I honestly think that everyone, addicts or non-addicts or with no labels, just kind of need these rules of life, kind of a guideline to life in general. People need it, and it's mostly self-love. And I think, like I said, some healthier families or that you've been in may not need the book as much as some other people. But looking at the sheer amount of addicts out there, if you replaced all of the NA meetings with codependency meetings, all of a sudden you see so much less drug usage, and it'd be a better world. Codependency is just the Bible of emotions. How to emotionally take care of yourself. And, I don't know. I would recommend that to anyone who listens. And then back to the point we were back to love spells and controlling people. The first thing it says in Codependency Anonymous is, I'm helpless to control other people. Well, at the time I was Christian, so I was like, oh yeah, that does make sense. Which it does make sense. So, you can't control other people. So I started learning about Wicca and witchcraft, and okay, so you can technically control other people. Should you control other people? That's black magic. Are you kidding me? So even people who are not using candles and woo-woo or witchy stuff, who are forcing people to do their will, are kind of evil. You're evil at that point, controlling people. You can't control... you can. That's the point. Technically, you are able to control others. The disastrous results of controlling others will lead you to death and destruction. Flat out. So, anyway, the point being is, when you try to control another person's free will, I know many of you are like, oh, yeah, my friend Josephine did it. I know it's bad. Yeah, but what is the consequences? Are you paying attention to what happens in the months and the years afterwards and how that relates to what you did or what they did? Being very aware. Magic is so dangerous. And here's the thing I love. Christians, I'm not going to say Christians, non-witches, people who think, oh, the word witch is scary and all witches are evil and bad and black magic and garbage. Okay, so we're going to talk about your common everyday person who thinks the word manifesting doesn't mean spell work. Okay. P.S. Hey, guess what manifesting really means? Spell work. Same fucking words. Same fucking things, different word. Different word. So is spell work wrong when you call it manifesting? Not any more wrong than it is when it's Wicca, when it's witchcraft. It's only wrong when you choose to control others. So, what people do is they do all the manifestation and visualizations. Those are spell work techniques, all of that manifestation. Is it wrong to manifest a lover or a love? No. Is it wrong to want the most beautiful love affair in the world for yourself? Is it wrong to want that? And to ask God and pray for that? No. Is there a proper way to do it without destroying the universe and letting God do his job? I think what's going on with this Armageddon stuff is everyone's decided, we're going to do God's job. We're going to just jump up and do magic on everybody. We're going to control everybody like God. And then we're going to be confused when all this magic and backfire and crazy energies out in the air, evil everywhere. What do you mean it's Armageddon? I don't understand. I don't believe in the Bible. There's a grain of truth in every religion. I'm going to be honest, this would probably be the time to start believing a grain of truth about Armageddon in the Bible, okay? I'm serious. I've been a mixture of Christianity and Wiccan, paganism my whole life. I'm just becoming less and less embarrassed about my Christianity beliefs because many witches will really, somehow, for the witches community, they say, every religion has a grain of truth, and there's people into the Hindu pantheon, the Egyptian, the Norse mythology. But if you're a witch with powers and you're into the Christian pantheon, which is a pantheon, you're no longer a witch. I'm a Christian witch, I guess, The word witch is so scary anyway. Witch just means you have the powers. It just means you're born with it sounds so weird, but it is just like psychic. You're born a psychic. You have the gift, whatever the gift is. You know what I'm saying? That's what the word witch really means. It doesn't mean a religion. It doesn't mean you're Wiccan. You can be Wiccan and never practice witchcraft. You can practice witchcraft and not know a damn thing about Wicca. Obviously, for all these people I love the internet. This is what's going on. The internet came along, spells came out on the internet, and people just are going wild. They just think this is so cool, Well, that's cool. You're all rotten hell. That'd be cool then. You know, I laugh, but who's to say I'm not going to hell with you? From what I can understand, there's only 144,000 people that's going to make it past Armageddon. If I'm freaking you out, sorry, but I'm not even slightly egotistical enough to think that I'm one of the 144,000. Would I like to be one of the 144,000? Yeah. Yeah. What's the qualifications? Billions of people in the world. 145,000 people make it. What's the qualifications? Am I good enough? Have I done right enough in my life? Have any of us? We're all human. I don't know. I don't know. But I know that people watching me a lot are like, got this, got that, and you're not Christian, you're a witch. And I've gone to a witch church. There's actually a building in Bristol, Connecticut. There's actually an actual witch church that I went to on and off for 20 some odd years. 22, 23, 24 years? No, I didn't go to the church since 2019, so 19 years of my life. I went in 2000 to 2019. So, like, almost 20 years of my full life that I went. Practice. I learned a lot. Let me say that I don't regret stepping outside of the Christian church to learn what I have learned. This is amazing. Have I done things wrong? Have I made mistakes? Have I sinned in the process of my learning what there is to learn? Yeah, of course I have. We all have. You know, it's time to repent. All right. I don't know why I'm shuffling cards, because I'm back at love spells. Anyway, all right, let me just end the love spell story real quick. What are we on? 21 minutes, right? The love spells. Okay. The last love spell, literal witchcraft, this is what we're talking about, where the girl got him back from he left her, he broke up with her, he moved out, she got him to move back in, got him to be back with her, got him to be back with her and the kid, and it was an abusive relationship. He didn't love her. She got him back, but he just kept beating her up all the time because he didn't love her. And there's your result. And you're like, why is this person, I don't understand why they're abusive. I don't understand why you force them to be with you. And then you're confused why they're abusive. Like, they don't know why they're with you either. All they know is that they're frustrated. They don't understand what's going on. They're under a spell, So it can lead to death, destruction, obsession, violence. I mean, everything. So I want to just definitely come out there with the love story thing, the love spell stories that I have, those two particular. And definitely want to just put it out there that manifesting a specific person is the same thing as a love spell. And finally, but not fucking least, the most offensive son of a bitchin' thing you can do. 10 times more offensive than black magic or manifestation. What is the worst thing you can do under God's eyes? Mind control. Back to controlling other people. With Subliminals, you are fully conscious. That title of that video says, control so-and-so to do this. And you play it, and you play it, and you play it, and you try to program someone's mind. Whether it works or not, you're Jim Jones, cult level, insane. And you don't deserve to live. And you are a living demon. And you know who I'm talking to, because there's people using subliminals on me. Subliminals are, again, back to witchcraft and manifestation, beautiful tools to use on yourself, for yourself, okay? Subliminals, what do I use subliminals for? Absolutely for money manifestation, removing poverty mindset. There's a lot of financial blocks that are just mental patterns that can be blocked, that you can get rid of and help yourself, in every single way with subliminals. Subliminals are there to help you help yourself. But because it's there right in front of your face on YouTube, and it says, control so-and-so to do this, and you're like, why not? It just seems like a good idea. Like, no one even considers the consequences or the morality of mind controlling someone else to either love them, serve them, do whatever the fuck, I don't know. There's one that's like, make your man simp. Really? Because if there was a one that said make your woman simp, that would be outraged. Because women, you want your woman to cook and clean and kiss your ass in these days? Oh, you're a terrible person. But if you're a woman and you want your man to quote unquote simp, you're cool. I mean, I'm not sure what your definition of simp is, but it's kind of mind control. It's where, you know, they're so under your spell, so to speak, that they'll do whatever you want without question. That's not even love. That's not love. That's not love. That's not love. Mind control is not love. You gotta let people be themselves, encourage independence, and love them for what they are as they are, not for who their potential is, who they could be, who you can change them into. You know what I mean? Get more comfortable being alone with yourself so that when someone comes, you're not needy for the first thing that pays you attention. Okay? Now, finally, to end this video, I'm going to say the proper way to manifest love in your life. You want that person, you want your husband, you want your future husband, your forever person, right? What the thing is, and it works, and things can go wrong with it too. I'll tell you stories sometimes about that have gone wrong for me, but you go ahead, and I was told this by someone who I'm pretty sure wasn't even a witch. I was like, I never even heard this, but I heard it from a friend. I won't mention her name, but I'm like, okay. So she says, write down every characteristic that you want in a guy, and then, you know, that's what you're looking for. So I said to myself as I was writing the list, let me be smart and not ask for all these great things, realizing there's yin and yang. And I asked for this perfect man, but his shadow side is he's a serial killer or a rapist or whatever. You know what I mean? So I made sure to ask for the things were deal breakers. No pedophiles. No, no drug users. You know, the deal breakers. So you got to write what you don't want as well. Because if you don't write what you don't want, you're definitely letting those energies in by not restricting them. But you make a detailed list of what you want and what you don't want in a man. People say even down to eye color, hair color, coloring. Because when that person shows up, it'll blow your mind. You go, I've done it twice. I've had enemies destroy the situation. Long, boring stories. I mean, now, they were boring then. I mean, when someone takes away, you write down the perfect man, the perfect person. You write the whole thing out. 6 months later, that person walks in your life, and it's the most beautiful moment. You're like, and you know it. You know that they meet every requirement on your piece of paper that you wrote. And you know, this is ordained by God. This is meant to be. And then someone comes in, you know, either badmouths you, does what they can to break the relationship up. And for me, that's what happened. I had someone who I thought was a really close friend actually badmouthed the crap out of me because that person had a crush on me and didn't want me to be happy with somebody else, you know, which I would have been if they didn't run them off. That person that ran people out of my life no longer exists. That person, there's a lot of those people. If I can't have you, no one can. So you gotta you gotta be aware of those. Yeah, those are the ones that are doing spells, doing the most to keep you single. All of those weirdos that you think are platonic friends, you know? Be careful of what you think is the platonic friend. Guys can't think without sex in their head. Guys can't have a platonic relationship. I don't care what anyone says. I've been through so much garbage with men in platonic relationships trying to own me when I don't like them in any way, shape, or form because they like me. And they are pretending to be platonic. Men can't be platonic. Men, 98% of men will think with the wrong head. Sooner or later, I commend those who do their utmost to think with the head on top of their head, on their shoulders. You know? I'm just saying, as a woman, I've been stupid enough to trust platonic relationships that have been the most evil things because the men don't accept the platonic. What do you mean you don't want to have sex? What do you mean you're not attracted? And you're like, what do you mean you don't want to hang and have fun? And you're not on the same page. You know, they are pretending to be platonic because they think sooner or later you're going to give them that little fantasy that they're apparently thinking about. And I don't know. People will reverse the roles and say women don't know how to be platonic. Women have to, you know, either or. I don't think it's a thing. It just isn't. It isn't. So, last but not least, subliminals to control people is the ultimate evil. And for you, who's been doing it to me, I hope you get yours, darling. All right. That's enough lecturing from Miss Scarlett. All right, Wildflowers. Blah, blah, blah. 31 minutes of chit-chat. All right. I might throw a tarot video going on now, too. All right. So, I hope I taught you something. You learned something. Questions, comments, anything. Reach out. I have a lot of knowledge and experience in this. Well, I mean, I was 20 years in a witch church / community. I'm still part of the community. It's just by me saying that my pantheon is Christian on this video today, people are going to blow their minds. A lot of my Wiccan friends are going to be like, ugh. Because the Wiccans, for some reason, are so, I don't know. It's just the two religions that seem to hate each other the most. Because Wiccans seem to be accepting of every other religion. I don't understand why combining Christianity with Wicca is so impossible. It's not. It's just not, you know? Anyway. All right. Oh, yeah. So write down everything you want in a person, everything you don't want in a person. Fold it up, either burn it, bury it, put it in your pillowcase. And I say I've done it twice. And both times someone's ruined it for me, but it works. So there's that. But both times it took around 6 months for God to take your order. And maybe sometimes it takes longer, so don't give up. So it's been a couple of years you put your order in to God, so to speak, right? And it's been a couple of years. Don't give up and just latch on to somebody who's not that person. Someone who comes along and's kind of okay, has some of the characteristics. Don't settle. Don't settle. Don't settle. God works mysterious timing sometimes, but don't give up. Keep faith. Know that what you want and what you will manifest properly. And if you're manifesting properly in the eyes of God, it will all be well, go well, and you'll be fine. No more love spells. It's not cute. And neither is the scent. I tried it. The love spell from Victoria's Secrets. It's like candy or something. That's not, I'm too old, maybe. But no love spells. No controlling other people. Mind control subliminals. You only control you. I'm gonna say my last piece of lecturing. The mom talk. Oh my God, it's a very serious subject, so, all right. See you guys in a different one. Peace, love, and chicken grease.